So any Marines that want to come out and debate the nature of this war can come out right now. Otherwise, I'm going to turn the mic over to Joe, who's actually a Navy Gulf War I veteran. Two other veterans were a part of this.
My name is Joe Tugas, and I'm a United States Navy veteran who served honorably from 1990 to 1994. I'm a journalist for Flashpoints on Pacifica Radio and a World Can't Wait activist. I volunteered to demonstrate this barbaric practice that your tax dollars are paying for so that people could see that this is in fact torture. My training as a My training at U.S. Navy Dive School makes me a better candidate for this because I underwent experiences involving extreme situations underwater, such as pool week and dive school, where the trainee spends 8 hours a day, 5 days in a row at the bottom of a swimming pool with scuba gear. The trainee is not allowed to look up and see when the instructors come down to rip his regulator out of his mouth, shut off his air supply, rip his tanks off his back, punch him in the face and stomach so he loses the air in his lungs, all without being able to fight back or go to the surface, which results in expulsion from dive school. I made it through this, which is why I volunteered for the demonstration we just did, so someone with less training could be spared the experience. We are not self-flagellating activists. Rather, we are conscientious individuals struggling to save lives across the globe from our own government. Due to the fact that we haven't lost our humanity or our moral compass, we used a plastic shield to prevent water from entering my airways. But recently I tried to see what is meant by the term simulated drowning. I wanted to see what it felt like to do it without the shield. How could it be worse than what I've already been through, right? I couldn't last more than 30 seconds because the water rushed into my airways so aggressively that my blood oxygen levels dropped so fast as I struggled that it became crystal clear that this is torture and this is not simulated drowning. In fact, there is no such thing. This was not surprising to me since my Navy service as a deep-sea diver and deep-sea diving medical technician already gave me an intimate understanding of the anatomy and physiology of water asphyxiation and drowning. You cannot simulate the physiological effects of drowning. You either are breathing or you are not. There is water in your airways and lungs, or there is not. The surfactant on the alveoli in your lungs is compromised, or it is not. You are losing consciousness due to the inability to breathe because of water blocking your airways, or you are not. And of course, once it comes to that point, it's only a matter of seconds before the terrified victim burns up their oxygen and the heart stops. Any media operative who calls this simulated drowning should be absolutely ashamed of themselves, for they have no right to regurgitate the Bush regime's propaganda at the expense of innocent victims like Canadian citizen Maher Arar, who was proven to be completely innocent in a court of law after being kidnapped by the CIA, waterboarded and tortured in a variety of ways without any apology or compensation from the United States. In fact, we used some of his testimony to construct our script so it would be based on what has already come to pass, not a hypothetical situation. All you have to do to support this savage practice is absolutely nothing. Or simply vote for any of the 3 presidential candidates, all of whom have done nothing to stop this country from torturing people. And whether it's KPFA, ABC, or Fox News, calling this practice simulated drowning is lazy journalism at best and aiding state-sponsored terrorism at worst.
That's right!
The term waterboarding only refers to this bench right here that is used to recline the victim so the water penetrates the airways more efficiently. Former Navy torture instructor Malcolm Nance testified to this fact before Congress and also said waterboarding has traditionally been referred to as, quote-unquote, the drowning torture by U.S. military operatives. For even those in the military who support the practice have no illusions about what it is. We've done this before at UC Berkeley campus, and it was interesting to see a couple hundred wide-eyed students observe the demo and hear them talk about torture. Is this what is necessary before people even think about torture? Do white phosphorus munitions have to fall on your neighborhood before you question what the Marines did in Fallujah? Does someone have to be tortured in front of you before you think about those being tortured in Guantanamo Bay, Abu Ghraib, or the black sites around the world maintained by the U.S. where people are being tortured as I speak? We've tried participating in government petitioning our representatives in Congress, voting for liberal candidates, politely asking them to oppose torture, but none of this has worked. That's what has driven us to resort to measures such as this demonstration. And as for this utterly putrid Marine recruiting center before us here, I am now reminded of a Marine who showed up here in uniform during one of the protests Code Pink and World Can't Wait had a while ago. He said the Marines don't waterboard people. Then we had a waterboarding demonstration and he told us we were doing it wrong and that he knew that because he had, quote unquote, been there, done that. But even if he hadn't revealed that he was lying, just like these recruiters do, even if the Marines didn't waterboard people, they make up for it by war crimes such as collective punishment, bombing hospitals, killing innocent civilians, or raping and murdering teenage girls like what happened in Haditha, March 12, 2006, when some Marines broke into a 14-year-old girl's house, killed her family, then raped and murdered her. The Marines tried to excuse this penultimate crime against humanity by saying they were under stress due to losing a comrade to a roadside bomb, or that the perpetrator had some personality disorder. Problem is, I was stationed with Marines over in Japan during peacetime, and rape and sexual assault on their behalf and that of other U.S. military operatives was rampant, whether or not it was documented or proven in a court of law, because the women are usually too ashamed and traumatized to tell anyone about it. This also brings me to the subject of misconduct by recruiters right here in the United States, which has gone from over 400 cases in 2004 to 630 cases in 2005, according to a General Accounting Office report uncovered by the Associated Press. In 2005 alone, 18 Marine Corps recruiters were disciplined for sexual misconduct or other inappropriate behavior with potential enlistees, according to records obtained by the Associated Press reporter Martha Mendoza under dozens of Freedom of Information Act requests. In an interview with Amy Goodman, Mendoza said the No Child Left Behind Act allowed these sexual predators in uniform to stalk their victims more effectively. For this legislation mandates that the recruiters have access to the personal information of students like cell phone numbers, email addresses, and where they live, unless their parents opt out of this arrangement. But many parents are never even told they can do this, and many of those who do know would never imagine a representative of the government would do such a thing. The AP report revealed that most of the assaults took place in government vehicles or recruiting offices like this one. Isn't that right, jarheads? Semper Fi, rape and die. Yeah, I'm talking to you, you fascist leatherheads. Leathernecks, sorry about that. But we all have a choice to stand up to this gargantuan bully, otherwise known as the U.S. military. We, the people, have the power to stop this war machine if we can just bring ourselves to exercise that power. World Can't Wait, Code Pink, and other groups extend our hand to anyone who wants to join us on the righteous side of the moral divide, and to all those out there with the courage to raise your voice and raise your fist against U.S. imperialism. We stand with you. The world can't wait. Drive out the Bush regime.
All right, that was good.
So for all those reasons and many more, we're going to be delivering the Marine Corps Recruiting Center of Berkeley their official, formal eviction notice.